Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to another fantastic episode of Stories Around Azeroth. As always, I am the newly minted Pete Titan's Creed Nevercoat, joined as always by the one Frazley TC, and it is an honour and a privilege to be joined by some guests this week, the amazing JenEricLive. How are you guys doing today?
Hello.
You're doing good.
We're doing great. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely fantastic. And it's so good to be joined by you guys. Really only heard about you recently, but obviously with the big move the problem that Mixer has had with everything else, and you guys are coming to Twitch, we thought it was a good opportunity to get you guys on here as well. Yeah. You know, because, you know, there's probably a lot of people we get tuned in that don't know who you are, and, you know, vice versa. You might have people that haven't got a clue who this is, especially since I've lost all my hair in the last couple of days. So
You're much more aerodynamic now, though. So.
That's it. You see, I put my head back on the pillow, and it's nice and cool at the back. That's it.
Nice.
I don't have a pillow back here. I guess I'm standing.
Yeah, you are standing. It's true. How has your week been?
It's been a very long and emotional week for sure.
I can
It's
imagine.
been up and down for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's times where we put about a year and a half of streaming on Mixer to try to, you know, grow our brand and grow a community and eventually get partnered. And losing that all in a tweet
Yeah.
is something. So it's been. There's times where we'll be perfectly fine and we'll be pumped and we'll be jazzed, like, you know, Twitch is going great and there's so many awesome people like you two that are here, you know, supporting us, and it's awesome. And then we'll sit there and click on Mixer on accident and go to the page and start crying because it's like, oh my god, this is our, you know, this is the site that we called home for so long, and it's going away. So but overall, it's been good.
Well, I mean, that's glad. I mean, I caught your first stream on there, and I was in your stream today on Sunday, which you look like you're having a ton of fun, and we'll come back to that in a bit as well. But like, it seems like a majority of your audience have come to join you, and I think I've seen like you've had quite a few new fresh faces that have joined you in your chat as well, haven't you?
We have,
yeah, for sure. That's actually something that's kind of different from Mixer, because Mixer has a very strong, or had, I should say, had a very strong lurk culture.
Right.
And it's something that is not as big of a thing here on Twitch. A lot of the people who are hanging out in your chat are actually watching you and chatting with you. And so it took a long time for us to build up our community over there. And we've had people, you know, that we're just meeting that are coming and hanging out with us and coming back to our streams here on Twitch. So
yeah, that's true.
That's one of the things that, you know, has been a positive for sure.
Brilliant stuff. Mr. Frazley, how has your week been?
It's been good. I'll start with the big news, but then actually I think even bigger news after that. The big news is I finally got Lore Master.
Hey!
Nice.
Oh, that took like forever, and like some of the zones just like, okay, get done, and like you kept thinking it's not going to end, and then like when that achievement pops, you're like, I'm done.
It's a grind.
I sometimes forget with the amount of time that I've known you and you've been playing Frazley that, you know, you didn't get all that stuff done on launch, you know, like it's like I remember when Cataclysm came out, I just hammered it through, like spent a good week just getting it done, but then I forget you took a break and everything else. So I'm glad you've done that. I haven't my week's been fine. I didn't really talk about it last week, but yeah, it's really been the aftermath of the charity stream this week. Just catching up and just posting about it. As those people who are probably in the chat and know, we did $3,000 for special effects. Off a 700 target, we managed to get the $3,000. Did a leftover stream into another £200. So,
oh wow, that's awesome.
Works out about $400, I think, in the end. So, but
that's fantastic.
It's good, and this all went because of it. So yeah, it's all good. We've got some more cleanup stuff to do in the coming times, and we got like stuff that's available until like the 8th of July. But that's pretty much we're in planning for next year already. Sat and wrote a 4-page document already outlining what I want to do next year, which is bizarre.
Sweet.
So it's strange. And then you know I've got stuff that I said I'd start working on with Frazley at some point to do something for as a Warcraft charity base, which we can get the community involved with. So there's that to start planning as well at some point.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
That'd be cool.
Got to work out what we want to do, what we want to do it for, and everything else.
And
we'll get there.
Speaking of charities, I just want to bring up last night I participated in the 6th annual troll run, and I have to say that was amazing. Like I had people in voice, I had people in chat, but also people like I saw people on Twitter, and Gravy was saying that there were over 1,000 trolls, the largest troll run that's ever happened, and they've raised over 500 or no 5,000. But looking at some of the additional stuff, I think it's over 6,000 that they've raised total for the Trevor Project.
Real good.
Wow.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
I
nice.
didn't even know that was a thing.
It's nice to see that they can do events like this. Well, I was about to say without the server crashing, but like the part of the stream I've cut to you, everybody's just running on the spot. So it very much can't handle it still.
Uh-oh. And so many rainbows. It was actually pretty cool when you get into like Silvermoon City and like rainbow arches, and like as you're going along, people like some of the helpers would go along and they would have like a rainbow arch at different points, and it was just so cool running underneath that.
That is really neat.
So it was a run through the Eastern Kingdoms this year then?
Yeah, I mean it always is every year, because Troll Run goes from Trolls to the all the way over to Silvermoon City, and then the Gnome Run for breast cancer goes from Dunmorrow. Yeah, Numeragon to I forget where.
I presume it'd be the northwest, so it'll be
Exeter.
Exeter, yeah.
Yeah.
That's real cool. Like I always thought that is it run by the same people, the Troll Run and the Gnome Run? Are they done by the same folks?
Same person. Dravi has a team that she works with to do it, and then there are different charities for each, but it's she actually started the Troll Run because they did the Gnome Run. I mean, people were like, "What's something about the like? Oh, you're not going to do anything for the Horde?" So,
right.
in the FAQ, she wanted to be trollish and went with troll. And plus, they are a very colorful race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant
That's
stuff.
really cool.
Yeah, no, that's real cool. Like I really, it's really cool that you can do something where everybody can get involved with. Like, because there's only so much you can like. You when you think that World of Warcraft has a specific limitation on how you can get people involved, you always get something like this where everybody can just go to a server and like just make a character, a level 1 character, and they can just join in.
Yeah.
And like this year, they might have done in the past, but this is my first year like streaming it. They said you can stream it, just we ask you to show the donation page and make it a part. And so you have a bunch of people getting the word out about it. It was
that's great.
Yeah.
That's
heck
great.
yeah.
Streaming it seems like a great way to get more people to involved.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
We didn't know about. I definitely want to be a part of the gnome one.
Yes.
over in October, and you
That
can do
sounds
the gnome train, which I don't have queued up right here. I'm sorry.
Right. So yeah, Jen and Eric. Obviously, you've had a couple of streams this week. Obviously, a bit of a variety streamer like myself. You don't just dabble in Warcraft, but you did have a stream today. One that I was really looking forward to because I haven't had a chance to get onto the alpha as much as I want. But like you guys were taking a look at like the new character stuff, which I think we can all agree is literally amazing. First of all, the cosplayer stream I'm well jealous of.
Thanks.
Like that.
It's fun.
Like your overlay setup and everything is brilliant, and I love it. Like everything that you've got there, and then the puppy cam. Oh,
Yeah.
We have 3 dogs who are always around.
Yep.
Always waiting for treats.
And our community loves them, so it's like we did the puppy cam like maybe once, and they're just like, yeah, we need that all the time. They
All the
probably
time, yes.
watch that the whole time, and say to heck with you guys.
that's the one. But yeah, I mean, how do you feel? Like, I mean, have you done much on the alpha yourself? I know you guys have. You mentioned on your stream today that you've got a lot of a community who doesn't want to see spoilers, which Frazley and I kind of adhere to anyway. It's why the only thing I've ever done on stream has been Torghast. So
yeah, we really were like, yeah, we're in the alpha. Everybody's gonna want to like watch us stream it, and then the community was like, yeah, we want to see it, but we also don't want it to be ruined for us.
Yeah.
So I thought that showing the character creation and all of the new things was a way to kind of, we weren't necessarily giving, because this is all already out and about
people
right
know that
anyways.
this is coming,
so kind of
and-
to like, hey, what do y'all want to see? Oh, you want to see a gnome? Let's go there. Oh, you want to see a troll?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to like, so we kind of were able to go back and forth and show some new stuff without ruining
without
the experience.
spoiling
yeah.
the other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And But as far as like playing it, we played through Bastion, and then we made a character to check out
We played Revendreth.
Revendreth.
Right.
We went like maybe halfway through Revendreth off stream, and like we were just it looks really cool. It's really promising. Like I'm excited about it, but also at the same time, I kind of don't want to ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
No,
Part of
absolutely.
being an
Yeah.
That's
alpha,
true. Yeah.
I absolutely get that. Like, I'm torn between, because like, as a content creator and a relatively small one compared to like everybody else, I'm like, oh, I've got alpha access. This could be a way to build my channel by just getting out there. But then, and this is probably something else we can probably akin to like your experience with Mixer. Like, there's a lot of big boys out there, who are like permanently at that top rung. And so generally you're not going to be showing content that people haven't already seen.
Yep.
And what's the other thing? They're possibly not just going to come to you just because you've got alpha access. I mean,
Yes.
Right.
like how, like you can probably see it, like the big dogs you got over here, you've got your S fans, you got your Asmongods. I mean, I don't want to ask whereabouts on the hierarchy you were on Mixer, but was there someone that was always on top over there when it came to like Warcraft specifically?
So there actually was, and she is one of our very best friends, Loch Ness.
Surprise.
So she went by Hey Loch Ness over there. Warcraft didn't really have a huge community on Mixer, and I think the main reason that is because everyone thought that Mixer was an Xbox platform. So we were fighting very hard to break that. Like, we were fighting very hard to break that, that viewpoint from people like that they thought that that's just, oh yeah, that's the Xbox platform. And so people were surprised to find that we actually streamed World of Warcraft over there. But so we were actually working with Locke to build up the WoW category. And so it was usually, if we were streaming at the same time, Hey Loch Ness, she just goes by Loch Ness here on Twitch. Loch Ness in the first spot, and then me and Jen in the second spot. And then there were a few other streamers, Tonzi, Asika, who Asika is actually partnered here on Twitch now.
Yep.
They both streamed World of Warcraft, and when they did, they were usually up there.
Yeah.
So we were always in the first row. So if it's definitely not in a good comparison to say that, you got, like you said, Asmongold and all that kind of stuff over here. We weren't nearly as big because there was nobody that big on Mixer, but
Right.
when it came to World of Warcraft, we were definitely known amongst the community as being, one of the more prominent World of Warcraft streamers.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we were proud of it, for sure.
And we were trying to build the WoW category on Mixer, and honestly, I don't want to say the best way, but a lot of the things that we were doing was just stream it, and then people who knew us were like, "Oh, WoW, heck yeah, I used to play WoW. You know what? I'm gonna get back into this."
Yeah, we got a lot of people.
So
to
then all of
reinstall
these
WoW.
people
nice.
just started putting WoW into their rotation, whether it was once a week, every other week. So I mean, it didn't grow huge, but it was definitely after a year and a half, it was definitely much bigger.
And we managed to grow a fairly large, put together a fairly large guild through that. It was essentially the Mixer Guild, because all of the streamers.
Oh, cool.
All of the streamers that streamed WoW on Mixer were in this guild, and that guild is the Loch Ness, which is Loch Ness's guild. She's the guild master. She started it.
Yeah.
And pretty much all the other Mixer streamers that streamed WoW were like, yeah, let's go.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So yeah, we're all like on Emerald Dream. We all joined Emerald Dream, and we all joined up in her guild and stuff. So Alliance side, of course.
I mean, I think this might be something that Frazley might be able to go in a little bit as well, because, like, I mean, there was Convert to Raiden. That's not like a whole discussion I really want to have, but that was pretty much like the home for a lot of American streamers, wasn't it, Frazley? Like, for the most part.
Yeah, and like a lot of raid teams like came from there, and they've fostered people. Like I got my start from there because I got encouraged to do streaming and podcasting from the guild, and
Yeah.
and a lot of big names started from there, and then moved on to other places.
Yeah, no, there's a lot there that I think is something, because everybody has their own communities and it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm trying myself to try to reach out to more British streamers, but a couple that I found all seem to have American accounts. So I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
Region
it's
lock.
That's
Yeah.
really funny.
it's you've got some stands in chat, it seems.
Jen's mom is.
Yeah. Hello, chat. By the way, welcome to the cast and everything else. I hope you're having a good time today. As Mr. Frazley ducks his head off stream. I mean, there's a couple of stories you wanted to talk about. I think it's all good to know. Like, how did you guys meet in Warcraft? Like, that's so. Why don't you go ahead? It's your story to tell us.
So Eric and I met on a website called Geek to Geek. So
Oh, yeah.
Geek, the number 2 Geek.
Right.
And I had a paid account, and that pretty much meant that like any person could message me without having to pay for an account.
Yep. So I was the cheapo that didn't want to pay for an account, so I'm lucky that she paid for it.
And then Eric sent me a message.
Yeah, and I had asked her, because she had in her profile that she played World of Warcraft, so I asked her what race and class she played in WoW. That was pretty much it. I didn't say like, hey, you're looking real cute or something. It was just, hey, what race and class do you play in WoW? So yeah, and she luckily responded. She almost didn't want to, but she luckily responded.
Well, it's a good thing she did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had our first date in Stormwind. We made level 1 characters, and we ran to Stormwind, and we just hung out in the trade district and chatted for like hours and hours.
That's pretty good. I mean, was there, like, when you guys first, was there quite a distance between you guys when you first met? Like,
I forgot about that. I forgot about that part of the story.
Okay,
that
so
was
Eric-
a great question.
So Eric was like, okay, so Eric didn't have a car.
No, I didn't.
And-
I was a catch, guys. Like, I don't know if you could tell, but I was just like, you know,
hey, like, at least you've got hair, mate. Like,
you had hair.
I did. Hopefully I'll have it again at some point, you know?
So Eric was like, okay, so, you know, if you want to come pick me up. And I'm like, okay, give me your address. So back then we used
It was
MapQuest.
MapQuest, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So I just replied back to him with the link to the like MapQuest.
Yeah, and so I was like, why is she sending me this link? So I looked at it, and we lived in the same neighborhood. She lived, like, I could walk to her house. She lived
Oh,
like 5
that
minutes.
wasn't horrible. That wasn't too bad then. I was expecting something that was like across the country type of thing.
Yeah,
It
no,
was like
same
we lived
neighborhood.
in the same neighborhood, and like we met on, you know, the vastness of the internet, and we lived in the same neighborhood.
It's so crazy.
that was pretty crazy. Yeah,
Wow, that must have been a surreal experience. Like,
it was. Yeah, for sure. It was.
However,
Oh.
Oh wait, what?
I was bored.
oh,
And I was Alliance. And here's the thing, though. I was very adamantly Alliance, and Jen was like, I like the Horde, but you know, she wasn't as much like. With me, it was just like, oh, Horde, oh, screw the Horde. Like I was so into it, and so I was just like, you have to switch over to Alliance, and I managed to convince her to switch over to Alliance, and we've been playing Alliance for the most part until Mr. Pandaria, our entire guild switched over to Horde, so we went over with them.
right, yeah.
And it was only because I could play a panda, because I didn't like any other Horde races. But I was like, I can play a panda, and I love the panda, so... but yeah, so she always says that she bleeds purple.
Yes.
Because it's red and blue.
Which is kind of ironic, seeing that, like, with the whole Mixer Twitch thing.
That
That's-
mixer
Yes,
purple
no, I
thing.
didn't
Yeah.
even think about that. That's real good, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I also wanted to mention real quick that Loch Ness is in chat. We were just
Hello.
talking about her.
Oh,
We
hey,
were.
look at this.
So
We
that's,
were
that's
talking
who we were
about her.
talking about. She was the other, like, the bigger streamer, WoW streamer on Mixer, and a very good friend of ours.
Greetings.
Yes.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, there's a lot to digest. I mean, I was expecting like this when you mentioned it, like it was a story you want to talk about. I was just like, yeah, we met over the internet. We had our first date in Stormwind. I was up in Canada. Yeah, she was down there, and
Decided
like,
to meet.
yeah, it's just like one of those whole proper stories about like, yeah, we came across the country. We now live together. We do this awesome stream together because we both love the game. No, it's just down the road. Probably knew each other at school. You know, just like leaves in the wind.
We had mentioned that. I was like, I wonder how many times we had gone to the same grocery store.
Yeah,
and
like,
we had
just,
seen
like-
each other just like walking around the grocery store, you know. And I
Yeah.
was like, hey, she's cute, and she was like, oh, that guy.
So Eric proposed to me after
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah. While she was making macaroni and cheese.
Well, I was making Kraft
I-
macaroni and cheese.
If you're gonna propose to somebody over food, like macaroni and cheese is like,
macaroni and cheese.
mwah.
I mean, it's a pretty cheesy story. Sorry, I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, look, they're guests, Frazley. I part with this on a weekly basis.
How dare you, Frazley?
I only pun the ones I love. So.
I mean, you know, we are kind of cheesy. I mean, our stream name is JenEricLive, JenEricLive.
Yeah.
No, you're not generic. As Raz says, there's nothing generic about you.
So we love puns. Like we
did it-
love all the
yeah.
silly stuff.
We used to do YouTube videos, like YouTube series, Minecraft series and stuff, and that was like our slogan. It was like generic live, or there was generic Minecraft, and then it was like anything but generic, you know.
Oh,
So-
that's real
which is funny
cool.
which is funny that Raz had said that in chat. Or like he said anything but generic or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's their
Oh,
tagline.
and our wedding theme was Zelda theme.
We did, yeah. We had
Oh.
a wedding.
Yeah.
We weren't dressed up like characters or anything like that, but like Jen walked down the aisle of Zelda's Lullaby, and then
That's
when they
real
said-
good.
When they said they announced us or whatever, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Eric, whatever, like my best man had a sign that I had made, and it said, "You obtain wife," and we had our DJ play the sound, so it was all. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. A lot of fun.
It was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant stuff. So sorry, like I'm trying to fix things on the fly.
Jen's mom just said I was amazing in chat.
Oh right.
You were great. You were great.
I mean,
you have to brag about it. But
let's
Oh,
be
it was amazing, not I.
yeah. I mean, let's be fair here. What are mums if not amazing? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's
That's
been, y'all, she has been nothing but supportive this week. Like, she'd
Yeah.
always come into chat, she'd be there. But this week, she has shown up for us and our friends and the community like crazy. She's like, you tell me who I need to go and support and follow, because she knows that one follow means so much more now, when the good majority, Eric and I started on what I think we created an account on Sunday.
Here on Twitch.
On Twitch, and we had 0 on Sunday.
Yeah,
Like,
we
had
found it was
0
over
follows.
0.
So she knows how much just one follower means.
Yeah,
so.
no, absolutely.
means a
Especially
lot.
at the moment where you're starting afresh, essentially.
Yeah.
Because like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when you guys announced your partnership, like with Mixer, and then like 2 weeks later, it's just
Yeah. You were like the first one I thought of, because I was thinking like, oh.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, we were talking about it, and like, there's partners that had been partnered for quite some time, or at least like, you know, a year or two or something like that. We actually were partnered for 2 weeks before they announced that it was going down, so we didn't actually get to benefit at all from being partnered, really.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's just every time it's funny because we had this picture of Jen where I was at work when we got our email saying that we were partnered on Mixer. And so Jen video called me, and I had this screenshot where you could see me down in the bottom corner, and I have this huge smile on my face. And then you see Jen, and she's taking up most of the phone screen, and she's like crying. Like she is
ugly crying.
ugly crying.
Oh, God.
I think it's beautiful. Beautiful crying is what I say. Anyways, she was bawling, and it was like,
What did you ask
not
me?
even 2 weeks later, it was just like the happiness that we felt in that moment is taken away because they took our entire
When we were on
platform
that
away.
call, though, Eric was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I am not okay."
And then we immediately after that called Loch Ness and her husband Zach, because, you know, they're really close friends of ours, and we were talking to them, and it was the same thing. We were just all like, "Oh, we did it," because she had been partnered for about a year, a little bit more than a year when we got it. And, you know, she had been really wanting us, like, we wanted to get, you know, she wanted us to get partnered, and she has supported us.
Well, we also
so
got
much,
stream
so-
coaching help from her as well.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
she's a stream coach, so we got stream coaching help from her, and so, you know, it's proof that she's good at it.
Yeah.
Because we got partnered, so hopefully.
I didn't even realize stream coaches were a thing. I'll be honest, but I mean,
No,
if, if there's a thing that you can make money of, I guess why not make a profession out of it and a job?
Yeah, and she gave us points that I was when I first there's a really well known stream coach named Ashley Christ, and when I first had heard about stream coaching, I was very much like, are you kidding me? Like, what? People pay for that? But then, when we had Locke help us out, she was pointing stuff out that we didn't think about. And it's one of those just like, it's not necessarily like I'm teaching you how to stream. It's just like, what about this? Did you ever consider this?
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh my God. Like one of the things that was, and I don't think that actually has any, it doesn't do anything like on Twitch, but on Mixer, if you're streaming in teen rating, right? Everybody can pretty much watch it, but if you're streaming at a mature rating, when someone hosts you, a lot of those people like it tells them, hey, this is a mature stream, and you have to click through, and so you lose any of those views from that host because people might not click through.
Right.
So, and we weren't doing anything that was, we weren't.
I think the only
doing anything that wouldn't be teen.
I think the only time that ever happens is when you actually do a host command. It will tell you if like the channel you're sending them to is for mature audiences.
Yeah.
I don't think you lose anybody. I'm not sure on the back end of something, but as someone who has their stream marked as mature anyway, anybody that's here can go to anything else. And the reason I'm marked as mature is because I've got a potty mouth. So
yeah, that's that's pretty much what we did when we the first time we decided we're gonna start streaming 18 plus, and so the first stream, Jen's got a smile on her face because we're just like, all right guys, we're streaming 18 plus, and Jen was like, yeah, so fuck y'all.
And Eric was like, you just said
that
to
why are you
chat?
telling our chat? That's not what. It was really funny, and then everybody was just like, I love 18 plus Jen.
Yeah. And I think with like the Copa, I'm not a legal expert, but it at least makes it where I can say that I'm not streaming to kids, that I'm streaming to
Right.
adults.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's an interesting thing that I was reading about and stuff like that is like streaming. You're not allowed to advertise to kids, you know.
Yeah.
And so, and then if you're like streaming and you're streaming to a primarily child audience, and you're like, buy G Fuel, that's technically against the
Right.
law. So all that kind of stuff blows my mind, man.
It's very much a very difficult situation these days, especially since the youth of today are essentially the people that are going to primarily watch internet content.
Yeah.
I think our generation, you'll have to. Okay, brilliant stuff.
It saved it, but
It's fine, Frazley. I'm just going to use the Discord audio now.
Yeah, that was us. I don't know what happened there.
My camera's broke again.
Oh no!
I don't know what happened. That was weird.
It's
We
fine.
have a great set. We have a great connection.
Yeah, I blame Frazley. It's fine. No, in fact, you know who I do blame, Frazley? I blame Coffee.
I blame Guppy too.
I blame Coffee too.
I was actually amazed. I've been following I Am Brandon because I only found him recently when a bunch of people were amplifying him, and he's been a joy to follow on Twitter, and he had a day where he had a stream was acting so weird. I'm like, okay, we're not alone. All streams have tech issues. I'm like, okay, good.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, for sure.
Again,
Yeah.
like without harping on too much, like the 3-day charity stream, I was so glad everything was fine because Tuesday on the wrap up, everything that went wrong could go wrong. Parsec refused to work. Discord refused to work. 3 days of everything working, and then one 2-hour stream of everything just going to pot. Like, but they just happen. Like sometimes, some days technology is really against you, and
Yeah.
But how do you? I presume you classify yourselves as variety gamers because I saw you streaming Minecraft. I think it was earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? And I'm not sure. Like, it might be a mixer thing as well, but like certainly for me, certain content that I would stream has a better viewership than other stuff that I wouldn't do.
Absolutely.
I mean, for myself, because I've come up mostly from like the Sonic the Hedgehog community, If I stream a Sonic game, people are going to come by, laugh at me, and tell me how bad I am at like playing Sonic the Hedgehog. Amazingly, but if I play my mobile game, I'll be good. But unless I'm doing the Warcraft podcast, like if I stream normal Warcraft, I don't really get that much of an audience that want to come view me. So, do you have was it the same over in Mixer where you had like specific people that would come for specific things, or
Probably,
I don't know?
Yeah,
I would say probably more so, honestly, because that was very much like Mixer was a battle royale site.
Right.
Yes,
So-
battle royales ruled over there. But yeah, like let's say we were playing Sea of Thieves, we would have all of our community that enjoys Sea of Thieves in there. Not to say that there weren't people who just watched us because they enjoyed our content.
Yeah.
There was absolutely
We
those
have
people
those
there.
people, yeah.
But
There are people who like even our mods. I mean, we were playing World of Warcraft, and then more actually we were playing Minecraft. It was one of the first. We started playing Fortnite on there, and then we started streaming Minecraft, and we were streaming Minecraft like every single day. And so we got a bunch of people that joined us. A lot of our mods joined us when we were playing Minecraft, and we started switching over to playing stuff like World of Warcraft, and they even our mods were paying less attention to the stream because they don't play World of Warcraft,
Right.
and they so even the mods wouldn't would be busy doing other things. So it definitely, I think that there's people who watch you for you, and then there's people who watch you for the game that you're playing,
right.
and that's the case everywhere. But on Mixer, it's if you didn't play battle royales, I mean, you were definitely at a disadvantage.
Do you
because
think
those were the big thing?
Do you think part of that is how much easier it was as a launching platform at the time to just turn on an Xbox and then just be like connected to Mixer straight away? Because obviously with Twitch they have to download a certain app. Mixer's already integrated onto the machine.
I think that a lot of the reason that battle royales and everything were so big over there is because all these kids had Xboxes, and like you
Right.
said, they'd turn their Xbox on, and Mixer was there in their dashboard. It was just preloaded on the system, so a very large number of the Mixer community were kids on an Xbox.
Right.
So it was one of the things that we were talking about over on Mixer. We called them blueberries, and the reason we called them blueberries is because if you make an account and you don't choose an avatar, you get the default avatar, and the default avatar is this little blue circle,
blue
and
robot.
it has a robot, and it's just like a little blue robot in a blue circle.
So like the eggs on Twitter then.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but on Mixer, your avatar shows up in front of your name in chat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember
So, yeah, so everybody's avatar is in front of their name in chat, and if you didn't have one, you were a blueberry. So they were so small that people just called them blueberries.
So you
And
could
that's it right there. Locke just put it in chat.
Well, that's an angry version.
That's an
of
angry
it.
version,
that.
but
So you could essentially, I mean, obviously I know you've mentioned in some places about where you've had like the occasional troll, but because just like on Twitter with the eggs, you have your blueberry accounts on Mixer. Was it a lot easier to spot like a troll
Yes.
account?
yes,
Very.
It was something that I had said. Not every blueberry was a troll, but almost every troll was a blueberry.
Right.
Because they didn't want to take the time to put in effort and everything customizing their account if it was just going to get banned, because they all
That's
did.
true. Yeah.
It was one of the things that Mixer did really well, was that they were really quick to respond to reports of people being racist or sexist and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. They were very quick. Like
So, yeah.
I mean, I guess Facebook gaming, from what little I know about it, has the same sort of thing, because you have to sign in using your real name. You have to
Yeah.
chat using your real name. And obviously, the trolling is a lot less over there because you're getting banned
There's no
using your real
anonymity,
name.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's what I've said since the longest time. And I believe the argument really came in, at least to a lot of Warcrafters, when... Do you remember the first inset of battle tags? We're going to use the real name, and everybody was kicking off about that.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the biggest way I looked at it is like, well, yeah, because no one's going to be an asshole in looking for group if their real names held
Yeah.
account to it, So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
But then it gets dangerous. It's very
there
dangerous
is
in that situation.
like
It's one of the
I-
reasons why we as partners decided not to go to Facebook, and so many other partners, because the deal was that they said we will give you guys partner on Facebook Gaming when they announced that they were merging.
Yeah.
they were like, we'll give you partner on Facebook Gaming. We were like, nah, I'm not going to go to the platform where, you know, our mom is in chat with her first and last, maybe even middle name, you know, like that's not going to, because when swatting is a thing, like, why would you do that? That sounds
especially
awful.
with, like, I think the easiest way to say it is, like, the world makes out that our data is protected, but we've seen, as you've said with swatting, how easily, readily available that information is. Like, I'm not sure if you do it, but I Google my name every now and again just to see what it brings you.
Yeah.
And obviously,
before we started streaming, I actually went and I Googled both of our names, and I found these websites that are like, here's some information on these people, and you can actually go and send them an email and say, I don't allow you to have this information on your site, and they'll have to remove it. And so I did that to a lot of them, not all of them. There were still some that were just like, oh, screw you, we're going to keep this information, you know. But you know, you basically just say, hey, I don't want you to have this information here. If you don't do anything about it, I will seek litigation or something. And then
the majority of them did take the information down, though. So, I think that's an important thing to do, especially if you're going to be streaming, because I mean,
you don't want people to be able to find that information.
No,
there's some people that are really strict with their real names, but I mean, we're Jen and Eric.
Those are
that
names,
is my real name. My name is Jennifer. I go by Jen.
That was something that we had discovered when we went to PAX, and like we were meeting all of these other streamers, and we're like, oh, I don't know if I should call you, you know, this, or if I should call you your handle.
Yeah.
But with us, there was just like Jen and Eric are the only things you got to call us. Like, Jen and Eric.
I get it. I get that a lot because, like, I'll go to I suppose we've all had it where we've been to conventions. It's like if I met Frazley in real life, I'd probably instinctively just call him Frazley, even though I know his real name. You know,
I had people at BlizzCon that just called me Frazley, and the weirdest part was during the costume contest, there was somebody named Jonathan who had a thing, and my mind's like, isn't that your real name? Because no one had called me my name the entire convention.
I love it.
It's such a weird thing, and I don't know. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, right? I mean, I think it's safe to say that 2020's been just like the biggest of dumpster fires.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I turn on the internet and look at stuff, like I just find out something that's just gone worse. You know?
That's. I mean, we just yesterday after our stream, we got, I talked about it on our stream a little bit today. We got this like alert on our phones, and it's usually an alert that's reserved for like, oh, you know, Amber Alert or a thunderstorm, you know, flash flood warning or something. And it was like COVID-19 in your county is gotten ridiculously high, and they told us that it was just like stay home.
It said stay home. It straight up was like stay home.
And then like today I got an email from my work that were like, yeah, we're going back to work from home. I was just talking about it on stream. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to work because, you know, at my job they don't care about that stuff. And then I guess they decided they were like going to work from home this week at least, and then they're gonna reevaluate. So
it's especially when it comes to that, it's really hard to turn around and say people are at fault. But your country, my country, I think the UK and the US have literally been the worst people to deal with it.
Like, I'm gonna, in a way. Like, I know people who are of an older generation, not saying all older, but some older generation, look at the news as like, I can't trust that. And I'm like, just wear a mask. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had that conversation with you in your Discord the other day, didn't I, Frazley? Because you were like, because Frazley goes on his daily walks.
Yeah.
And he's obviously picked up some certain masks, and he's like, every time I see more people out, and I'm like, Fraz, like, it's good that you're wearing a mask, but that protects other people from you. And not you from other people, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, it's people don't have that kind of, like, they're like, I'll be fine. You're like, okay, yeah, but we're not worried about you. Like, you're not worried about yourself. Friggin' like some really healthy person in their 20s or something like that. That's like, oh, I've got nothing to worry about. I'm not gonna die. We're like, oh, who cares? We're concerned about you. We're concerned about your grandma. We're concerned about the people with underlying issues that are gonna get it and then could die. Like, that's it's like, a common courtesy, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like, I have asthma, so if I get it, there's a good chance it's going to hit me on the scale. But then I've got my 99, like, she's literally turned 99 this month, and she's living with us at the moment. And if any of us get it, she's at risk, you know?
Right.
Just like anybody else who's got a grandparent or, like, an elderly person living with them. Like, it's
And we live in Texas, and Texas was one of the first.
Oh yeah.
One of the first states to decide that, hey, let's open everything back up. So we're just like, great, I love it here.
I mean, there's a lot wrong. Like, we could literally probably do an episode on politics, but that's not what this show's about.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about World of Warcraft.
Let's talk about World of Warcraft. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about Shadowlands, but are you guys up to anything in like the end of BFA at this point? Because
we were raiding up until about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm. With the lock mess, we were raiding.
So we stopped because it got really hard to expect, like, I heal. It was very hard to raid heal, concentrate on chat. Like, I was just like, it was hard. So we kind of just stopped raiding altogether.
Because as you guys were saying earlier, we're like, you were saying that we're very interactive, we're very energetic. We like to talk to chat.
Yeah.
Chat is a very important part of our stream. You know, so when we're raiding, we hate just me and Jen both sitting there staring at the screen like we were talking about, just clicking and not saying anything to anybody. And so it got to the point where we're like, yeah, we're not gonna raid anymore because of that, you know. So, and I mean, it was very frustrating. We were doing Ny'alotha,
and we were doing really good too. I think we got to maybe 8 out of the 12.
8 of 12. And recently, I don't know, Locke can probably correct me on this, like a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, the guild just cleared Heroic.
Yeah!
Hey,
Cleared
nice.
Heroic Ny'alotha, so...
big accomplishment. We're super excited.
Yeah,
for that.
it was fun. And the good thing is, Jen was doing great on the healing charts. I was a Fury Warrior DPS. I wasn't really, too important too, so I was like, if I'm leaving, you guys aren't losing a lot with, our friend who's a Ret Pally who was doing like twice as much DPS as everybody, and we're just like, okay, I'll just go home.
That's
You know
it.
what I mean?
Like, the healers, the tanks, they're the important people. Nobody's gonna miss a DPS. Like, unless you're King Dick DPS, that's always top of the meter.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm gonna take it. No, you can't leave us. We
need you.
We need your sword.
You were the chosen one.
That was our friend Ard. Ardentian. He was the Ret Pally. Like he was like one of the top ranked Ret Pallies on our realm.
Right.
For a while. So yeah, we were just like, please, you don't go anywhere. Everybody else, you can do whatever you want, but we need him.
So right now in game, we are... I mean, I think whenever you have a downtime and you just want to chat, you're always looking for mounts. You're always looking for those drops.
Yep.
We still do islands. I really enjoy islands. I've heard a lot of people don't, but
I think
they're mindless.
It's
mindless.
I think when it comes to any content in WoW, anytime that it's forced upon you, you hate it. But now, like, we're at a point that everybody's got their neck to like 80 and beyond. Like, islands are just there as a way to just. It's another source of cosmetic stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And
we do them every week anyway.
Yeah, I haven't touched them in ages, and I probably should do because I still miss quite a few mounts, so I could use the doubloons. But
right, yeah.
I mean,
and then I need to get. I still don't have flying in BFA, so I need to do that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I need to do that. So we still have some grind left,
Yeah, I mean, there's always something to do. Like, I think what I'm down to is my mount farm, my raw gold farm, because I'm going to keep it in the back of my brain that, that long boy's obtainable when it's not. Because I think that's part of the big problem of being a variety content creator at some point, that you want to offer the variety of stuff rather than I could just go and do all my Warlords of Draenor raids today because I can solo do them all on all difficulties and just make 70 grand in a day. But sometimes I want to play stuff that isn't Warcraft. Like
yeah, exactly. And that's one of the good things about building up a community that's not specifically just one game. And we Locke has been grinding for that for the freaking Longboy forever. But we have people who like WoW, but also just for the most part, I would say a good amount of our community are people who just enjoy watching us stream and hanging out with us, because we always like to make our stream feel like you're coming over and you're hanging out, That's why when people say something in chat that's funny and we're going to start riffing off of each other and just start laughing, like like Kindergirl in chat was one of the people that came in when we were playing Minecraft really heavily, and that's the only game she plays. So she doesn't know any,
right.
like we'll play another game and she's just like, I'm lost. I don't know. But because it comes to Minecraft and she's our encyclopedia, so
Yeah.
She's like, you haven't killed the Ender Dragon yet? Come on, guys. Go to the End City.
Have you played Minecraft Dungeons? I think you would love it.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we
it's
have.
great.
It's so good,
It's
y'all.
great,
It is
yeah.
so good.
We're having a great time in Minecraft Dungeons because, I mean, we played Diablo 4. We played it at BlizzCon,
Yeah.
and it's so like, oh my god, I'm so excited about that.
Don't. I'm getting back into Diablo 3 when the new season starts. Like,
Yeah,
some of the guys with the Dragon Powered Studios, they were just talking about like doing it as a group with the last season. And I was just like, I'm just going to jump in to the season, see how it gets me. And then everybody else just started jumping in. Yeah, and we all just started going together, and it's pushed some of the ones to get more stuff done. And then we're just going to really tackle the next season for Diablo 3. So I'm excited for that. I'll be streaming a fair bit of that, I think. But
that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, like last time I played Diablo, it was, my friends were just like, Paragon levels out the butt.
Yeah.
And so and they were like, oh, I wasn't even, I was like level like, I don't know, 20. Like just regular level 20. And so I'm just like, and they were like, well, we'll run you through stuff. And they had leveled me like so many levels. And I was just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going around and looting stuff.
it's fine. That gives you the opportunity to talk to chat while you just get carried. It's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Fine for
Yeah,
5
You guys
minutes.
do all the
Yeah.
work. But yeah, I'm really excited about Diablo 4 because it feels like they're going back to that 1 and 2 feel, and
Yes.
we played the demo and I was just like, I need this game in my life. It's so
Me
good.
too.
So what I've seemed to ascertain from it is that it's definitely got a Diablo 2 feel, but they're going for like an open world.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, at the end of the day, as long as I've got instant teleportation to the different zones and I literally don't
Yeah.
have to walk from Act 4 to Act 1 on my mount,
Yeah,
that was like,
yeah, because I mean, from what they had said, like it's like they don't expect you to run into a bunch of other characters super often, but you will, like, other players. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you're running around on the map. It's because it's supposed to be open world, and there's a chance that you can run into another player.
Well, this is the thing
But-
that I seem to have gained, especially from the latest post. And I know we're Warcraft and we're talking about Diablo now, but fuck it, we're talking about streaming today. I don't care.
It's Blizzard. It's fine.
Well, exactly. Well, yeah, it's exactly it, innit? But they've I think you've still got the same option to just like have a private game on your own and you can invite
Okay,
friends
yeah.
to it. But in their latest post about Diablo 4, they definitely talked about just like the world events, like similar to like how Destiny has their world events where stuff spawns and you can just fight it and like you can come across other people doing it. I'm like, is it going to be sharded then? Like, if someone's engaged in an event, will I stumble onto that event and I'll see other people engaged in it at a time? Like,
And that's kind of what happened when we played the demo. Like, we were playing the demo and, we just ran up and there was some world event going on and there was
Right.
like 3 other players there. And they weren't people that we were playing with, like, we weren't in the same session or anything. So I think that it's kind of like that where if there's some world event going on that you stumble into, you can just join that. And other players are playing it and stuff.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be like some hidden option that's there that says like shard me with other players during world events, and like people will just
Yeah.
stumble on it and you'll just hit like a small server. If it works, it works. Hell, the last thing we need is another Era 37 when Diablo 4 comes out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. You looking forward to Shadowlands from what you've seen so far?
I'm super excited.
I'm excited.
But I mean,
So,
I'm
I
a
played
fangirl, so I'm always
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
excited.
obviously. I mean,
when I played Bastion at BlizzCon, the Bastion was the zone that they had for the demo. I
Right.
was super underwhelmed because I was just like,
I think
this
a
isn't-
lot of people were.
Yeah, it wasn't visually impressive. It's very like plain looking to me, and I was like, this looks like more of the same. But then when I saw like, I really like Revendreth. Like that zone
Yeah.
is super cool, and playing through the zone with like the vampire, the race. What are they called again? I don't remember.
The Venthyr?
Yes, the Venthyr. So I think that they're super cool too. So I was like, okay, this is definitely pretty awesome. But Locke thought it was pretty. I thought it was very plain. I thought it wasn't necessarily like bad looking. It was just very like it was very flat. There wasn't a lot of, it wasn't super huge and impressive. Like I was talking about it on stream the reason I was interested in going to Revendreth was because in Final Fantasy XIV, in Heavensward, the main city in Heavensward is this huge gothic city, and it's so cool. And I was like, oh, I want to see that in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned this on your stream earlier on, but it's just like, I would kill for Warcraft to have a main story that was on par with Heavensward.
That would be and I love the fact that they've started to do it where they have the war campaign, which is the main story quest, and they're like, these are the main story quests, these are everything else, because WoW didn't do that before, and the way that Final Fantasy did that is awesome, because this is the story quest, everything else is just extra.
I think it's the way they do it with the MSQ, like having that specific, because the MSQ pushes you through the main thing, and then you've got all the side quests to do, and I feel that's how they're trying to do Shadowlands with, like, because you've got the main story that pushes you through every single zone. Apparently, I haven't done it myself yet. There's no spoilers here. This is just from the information Blizzard's given us. Like, you start at Bastion after you do your intro quest, and then you've got the quest that takes you to all the different zones. So essentially, you learn the Covenants and what their abilities do, and then at the end of the game, your MSQ is basically going to be the Covenant story, like it was with the Legion Order halls. I don't know. I sometimes I just look at it, and obviously with oh my god, what was the name of the samurai expansion? Stormblood. Stormblood was very underwhelming in comparison, but there was a lot of stuff that was really cool for it. I still played the hell out of it, and I guess the difference between Warcraft and Final Fantasy at its core is, while they've both got dungeons, the next step is that they've got the big, like, Magicite fights, like the big Esper fights, and then you've got your raid fights, and even the raid fights are at 2 different levels, like the 8-mans and then the 20, like the 30-man, I think it's 8, 16, 24-man, sorry, I should say.
24.
Like, some of those are really cool. And obviously, I've mentioned on this before, like, how their Dungeon Finder is far superior to Warcraft's one.
Yeah, it's really good. I love their the thing where it's the mentor system, I think, in that, where you can, that's super cool.
Which is interesting, because in the latest build, a mentor system was dug up from Wowhead.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, there was a whole mentor string, and I'm like, if this is, like, similar, because it looks like you'll get an icon next, and I'm like, because I think I mentioned it in a Discord, I mean, that if this is similar, where you can see who a mentor is, and who a new player is, because that's what Final Fantasy has things for new players, returning players, mentors, and then just about everything else you can think of. It would be really cool, but I'm worried with the state of trolling. Oh my god, I can't even say the word now.
Oh yeah.
Because if you see a new player with that, and like Warcraft players are atypically really worse for it compared to everything else, that, you know, I'm just worried if they just abuse that system with newer players.
I could see that,
That would suck. But yeah, I don't know. I just really like the way that Final Fantasy did the main story quest, because then you know, this is the MSQ, this is what I have to pay attention to. Because it sucks having to sit there and WoW, and you're just like, oh, this isn't relevant. This is a guy telling me to, you know, go kill a boar and bring back a necklace of his dead daughter. And, like, this has nothing to do with the overall story of WoW, you know? Because I am a lore fanatic when it comes to World of Warcraft.
Oh, same. Absolutely.
I love WoW lore so much.
If one day I'll be able to move everything around so this is back, but then I'll be able to drop it and I can show my massive Warcraft collection that's in my cabinet, you know?
Nice.
I love it. Like, the lore is the main thing that got me into it and keeps me going. Like, I remember getting into WoW because it was significantly easier than Final Fantasy 11. Because Final Fantasy 11, not sure if you guys played it, but it was like, you had to group for everything past your starting area. You had to walk through a max level. You had to walk through a max level area to get to your next area to level in, which was the beach. Then you get to 18, you then get your dual quest job, and then you got to go back to level the next quest, the next job. And I'm like, ugh. But if you couldn't find a group to level in, then you can't do anything. And like, I went to WoW because it was easier. And then by the time TBC came around, it was just like, here's all these stories. And I'm like, all right, who the fuck is Illidan Stormrage? Then I'm off on Wowpedia, which it was back then, and it's just like, WoW Wiki before WoW Wiki then became Wowpedia, and I'm like, well, this has got hyperlinks to all these other different characters, and then you just deep dive into it and everything else, So,
Yeah.
oh, it's, I don't know. I think if it wasn't for stuff like that, where Illidan is his boyfriend, I
He
mean,
loves him.
I mean, let's be fair. To most, no, I can't say that because it really feels like no, I'm not saying that. I was gonna say like he's a brooding guy who's like totally emo. Who's not gonna love him?
It's those, yeah. It's that one thing we always make fun of. The he's the guy that the girl looks at and says, "I can fix him."
And then didn't someone try to fix Illidan? And he was like, "No, you can't fix me. I am my scars."
And we like to tell, like, to rub that into with Locke and just be like, he's a floating frozen corpse in space right now, and she's just, no, he's alive.
Look, Loch Ness, no one's judging you.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say some. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think everybody has a WoW crush. I love Tyrande. I love Jaina. Frazley loves Gnomeregan just as a whole.
Well, Gnomeregan, I've got a crush on. Yeah. And Gnomeregan is not a dungeon. It's just a city that we have not reclaimed yet.
What about Chromie?
Chloe's so cute.
No, she's a great friend, but
She's a great friend.
Did you just friend zone Chromie?
I did.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine being a bronze dragon and being forced to be friend zoned for all eternity. Imagine that. Jesus.
That's funny.
I do. I love
Jaina is
I love
amazing.
Jaina. I love Thrall. Like Thrall will always be my war chief.
But what version of Thrall? Do you want
like
Durnhall Thrall? Do you want Tree Hugger Thrall? Do you want Old Man Daddy Thrall?
Jin's like all the
I was gonna say I don't know. Just like in general, he's better than everybody else now.
Well, I mean, you can either look at like hot pixel daddy Thrall. You can look at
Oh my gosh!
you can look at big totem daddy Thrall, or you can look at old polygon-esque, I've got a pixel for a beard Thrall. Like,
I think you are enthralled with Thrall.
I am enthralled.
There it is again. Yeah, I love Jaina. It's funny because actually, so there's a guy who he ports zones from WoW into VR.
Right.
So I've actually I have a HTC Vive. So I've gone in there, and he just recently did a demo of Borealis. So I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And for some reason, he put Jaina in there, and it was the most recent. It's the most recent model of Jaina.
Yeah, Admiral.
That was really cool. I was like looking at it. I was like, oh, Jaina's in front of me. This is so awesome. But there was a glitch. I guess he didn't import it correctly. So every once in a while, Jaina's eyes would bug out of her head, and they would come like this far out of her head.
Dreadlord confirmed.
I'm looking at her, and I'm just like, oh. It was awesome. But it was very creepy.
I remember really liking the Vive. Like, out of all the headsets that were on, this was years ago, and the Vive, I really like it. I like everything else, but you gotta have the space to use it.
Yeah. We actually rearranged our living room so that there's a giant space in the middle just so I could play VR games.
Yep.
Nice.
You sure did.
One thing I want on VR, like as like a streamer, do you know those movies that you see them like in VR, but you see like a camera inside? It'd be so cool if you could have a camera inside the VR headset looking at you, so chat
like the
could
Iron Man inside the helmet cam thing.
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing of streams is I miss the streamers' reactions.
I tell you what, Fraz, like, as someone that's played Iron Man games in VR, the most disorientating thing is where you actually use, like, you're lifting off or you're on a roller coaster or something, because your brain's like, you shouldn't be moving. And like you said, like all of a sudden you go on your ass. And it's just like, it's that and horror games. Horror games in VR are the worst.
Dude. Oh man, somebody ported PT, the playable teaser, and we we had a friend. We were just like a group of friends, and we were trying to convince somebody to play it. And we had one friend play it, And I have a clip because we were filming him when at the very end of the playable teaser when
She jumps.
I forget what the character's name is, but she shows up behind him.
Oh!
And she's just standing there and like shaking her head, and he just goes like he actually like cartoon breathed in and then screamed at the top of his lungs. It was, and he was like on the ground, and we were trying to help him up. I felt bad for him actually because he was just
I can imagine.
It was so I won't do that. That's actually one of the it's one of the outstanding things that were like, you know how you shaved your head for VR or not for VR for charity.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, if we get to this goal, I will play PT in VR, which I hope, I mean, for charity I'll do it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like
I need that highlight.
When I was working with it, and like as a way to advertise where we had where you could like use it, I did 2 horror games as different things and like weekly things. Like one was like a jump scare horror, and it got me so bad that I backed because it was only in like that 2x2 meter. I backed off and I literally just smacked my head on the back of the wall.
Oh, ow.
And then the other one was like a psychological horror one. Where you know the type of ones where it's like the creepy sounds and then it would just like it literally I just sat on the floor and I was just like, nah, I can't do this anymore. Like it's on camera somewhere. I think it's on Facebook buried like from like several years ago. But it's
there's in the early days of VR there was the Oculus DK1, which is a dev kit.
Yep.
And I have one. I've got it upstairs in my closet. And I was playing these games that people were coming out with, and one of them was a game where you had to hold down shift. And the object of the game, the entire game, was to hold down shift and not let go. And there was like, so in VR, you're sitting in an office desk, and like you're holding down shift, and this like freaking beast comes up and starts flying around your head. So you're flying around your head, and then this like this raptor walks into the room, and the raptor's like right in your face, and you're just like, and like you just had to hold down. And I never finished it because I was just like, no, I'm done, I'll run.
Oh, that's horrible. That sounds
it would
so
get
bad.
to your face, and I was like, I don't want
to. I know it's like an offshoot, but do you remember there was a story way back when of where somebody worked out the actual distance that a Warcraft character runs at, and they put themselves on a treadmill and worked out what it was to get from one side of a continent to the other?
I've heard that. Yeah,
it's a very old story. Could you imagine that on a treadmill, but in VR, where you could actually like be able to see?
I would look great.
Like that would be kind of cool.
I would be. I would be able to borrow shirts from Fraz if I was able to do that stuff. Like that'd be awesome.
You and me both. You and me both.
I wouldn't mind doing stuff though. I've leveled a few alts recently through the Warlord opening scenario, and whenever you're running to the thing I'm running, I get so winded after that. Like I could not do it
really cool though.
The only thing I'd want to watch Frazley do is his Iron Man's. Just when he's in trouble and all of a sudden he's just running away on the treadmill.
I'm like, no!
Yes.
Dude, that would be interesting if they could make it so that you could like mod the treadmill to work with WoW, so that there's no way that you can actually move in the game unless you're walking.
Well,
that would be
I remember when VR was when they started talking about VR, there was actually something they developed for, I think it was Team Fortress 2, where there was a whole... Yeah, I know. Everything comes back to Team Fortress at the end. Oh, bye, Frazley.
Fraz.
But there was this whole thing where they... there's actually like... It's like a circular... Like, that goes around your whole body. That's it. So you're actually attached at the waist.
Oh, yeah, the Omni.
Yeah, it might be the Omni.
Yeah.
Breaking my camera again!
I swear, I used this on Thursday, and it was fully fine with 2 other people. So
God damn it, Frazley.
But you know I break things.
But yeah, so like the actual thing runs in the direction, like the flat pad runs where you run, so you could turn on the spot and move. Right. So it's just one of those things that like it's really cool, and the technology exists, but unfortunately, just like everything else these days, the technology when it's new is so expensive.
Yep. And I mean, that's the thing. The headsets are just now getting to the point where they're more affordable, VR headsets. But like the one that I really want, and I'm actually glad I got a Vive, is that the Valve Index is a really good. It's like one of the top rated VR headsets, the Index, and it has the Valve Index has controllers that have they strap onto your hands. so that when you're gripping it, your hands are like this, but you can actually open your hand and still have the controller attached to it. So in game, your character is actually opening his hand. So if you grip it with 2 fingers, your character in game is going to be making this motion.
So if we incorporated this whole treadmill idea, does that mean that gnomes would have to walk more because they're
Yes.
Their legs.
I'm coming. Wait up. I still remember when I was like 13, and I was like a big 13-year-old, and like I remember like yelling like because I went to this adventure camp. I'm like, wait up, guys! And it was like all like we were out in like these tree barricades at our camp, and it was a long walk every night. I always remember that.
I mean, it must be weird for you. Could you imagine someone as tall as Frazley walking at the speed of a gnome? Like he'd just be taking these long strides. It'd just be like the character is glitching back and forwards.
Yeah.
You know?
And
so great.
I want this now because a good way to stay in shape. Because
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Eric mentioned earlier.
I would definitely exercise if that was the case, man.
Yeah.
Because that'd be awesome.
Because I've already burned more energy just moving to the standing desk, and that has been like the biggest thing. Like, but
Yeah, I
and
noticed
plus-
that when I first watched your stream. I was like, he's standing up right
Yeah.
now. Like that's
Yes,
interesting.
good for him.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I sat for the longest time, and when I moved, it changed my energy. As everyone said, I'm even more energetic if you can believe it.
That's awesome, though.
The running joke about Frazley though is that we come for Frazley, but we stay for chocolates. So
Yes, I've got a cat on a cat cam, just like your dog cam. Yes.
Nice.
the cat only goes on camera though when you choose to spend your channel points to feed it though. So
Well,
like
that was actually the exact same way that we used. We did it over on Mixer. We had Mix Play at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so they would use Sparks, and you could use Sparks, and then we would go give the dogs treats.
Yeah.
So now that we're over here and we don't have the channel points or anything yet, because we don't have affiliate yet. Once we do, that's going to be one of the buttons. where you
Yeah.
hit the button and you can give the dogs treats.
I still think Mixer's chat, like the leveling system, was better. I still think it's better than what Twitch has. Like it's nice that
one
Twitch
of
has
the things
got
that you
it.
miss.
Yeah.
And the avatar, I forgot about that because I would say I think that would actually give me a better feel. Because like on Twitter, I love being able to see the person's avatar. On Discord, I love being able to see that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think that because Twitch has so much about the badges next to their name. I think it's like you could have the 3 badges.
Yeah.
That people would I don't know. I don't know if people would prefer one over the other, but I definitely like that because it's also easier to kind of tell people apart. Because they have that little avatar, and you're like, it's something that I always recognize.
I think it's something that adds to personality and customization. Like if anybody was to jump into your channel and it's the same with anybody that actually uses their Twitch channel and got to the point of having custom emotes that jumps into somebody else's channel and they use their emotes. Like I use my one to say hi to everybody. Yeah. And you do that and you're like, oh, that's a cool emote. I wonder what else they've got, and then it's kind of spreads out that way a little bit.
Yeah.
But, having your own badge as well, I guess it would just show how much people prefer about their own thing, and I think it gets back to the circular point that we were talking about earlier. Why would anybody do it if it's going to be a burner account for anything,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's true. And it's funny because like we were saying, you're talking about the chat levels. Our mods were like, they loved the chat levels. Like they were always talking about, oh, I'm higher level than you now. I'm higher level than you now. Like, because you get chat levels you've got chat levels by hanging out, by chatting, by using Sparks and stuff. So it'd be like, hey, look, I'm higher level, and it was fun. They got a little badge that changed colors as you got higher level.
It incentivized chatting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That is great because we want to incentivize chat. We
One
love
thing
lurkers, but we love chatters.
One thing that Twitch did on the channel points, and it unfortunately affects lurkers, but I see why they did it. If you chat more, you do get more channel points, it seems like. Whereas if you just watch, you get less channel points.
Right.
That kind of goes into the whole so in what I was talking about just a minute ago, Mixer had a very strong lurking culture, and that's because people were farming Sparks. And initially, Sparks for partners used to equal actual money. So there was a crystal, and the more Sparks they got, they would get to this one goal. And if they got to that goal, they got $50. They get to the next goal, and they got $100. And it was literally just like money from nowhere. It was literally Mixer paying that money. That money wasn't being spent by the user because
not
all
like
you were
bits
doing
or anything else,
was
like,
watch.
it's,
Yeah, it wasn't like bits because our bits were called embers.
Yeah.
So people would just sit there and they would farm sparks by sitting in a channel, watching it, getting sparks, and then they can give it to whoever their favorite streamer was, and that streamer would get a payout. But
Which is good because I had somebody who said that they I came in the chat one day and was like, I love your stuff, but I don't have money. And I was like, hey, your support means a lot, but it would be cool
Yeah.
if lurkers could give back. I mean,
Yeah.
The-
did you get ad revenue on Mixer?
they did for
They barely
partners, and it
barely
was-
just started it.
Yeah, it
though.
wasn't super. It hadn't been around for a really long time.
Okay, because yeah, affiliates and partners have ad revenue. So in a way, people are helping by doing that because like it's small, but that is. But yeah, I would love a way for people to give back without having to pay.
But I think the biggest thing and it wasn't sustainable is because essentially Mixer, aka Microsoft, was paying without receiving any money.
Yeah.
True.
Because when you buy bits, you're paying a certain amount of money for bits, and then
Extra
Twitch
to
gets
Twitch.
a certain amount
Yep.
of it, and then the user or the streamer gets a certain amount of it. You know. So
I mean,
they had to get rid of that.
I think they tried something along the same lines way back when, because if you were on mobile on Twitch, there was a thing that you could literally just keep watching ads to get bits, and
Yeah.
they
Yes.
Somebody
disabled
had told
that.
me about that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So while you are still essentially making Twitch money at a certain point, like there's nothing to have your phone muted and just click that watch ad button. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And enough people were doing it on their own channel. I never did it, but I heard people who did it.
But the button still exists on Discord on desktop Twitch, but you can't use it. It's so bizarre. I actually had to go
weird.
through a whole thing to find out why it was there, and I did a whole research thing. It was just so bizarre. But you probably had people doing that, and I think it was disabled more because there were no advertisers that were looking to do it. Like there wasn't enough click through for them. So, like, I guess it's the same sort of thing in principle, because essentially people are paying for advertising, people are watching, and they're getting bits, and it's just free money to give to people, you know?
Yeah, somebody had mentioned that about being able to watch ads, but I didn't know that wasn't a thing anymore.
No, it hasn't been. You can't find the option on mobile Twitch anymore. But
Yeah.
like if you go to your bit button on Twitch and it's like watch ads is still there, but it's like a grey button, so you can't watch ads. It's just like the feature's not enabled. It's
Yeah, because like there's the pre-roll, and then you can like disable pre-rolls, but you have to play an ad every so often, and it's like
I just have pre-rolls turned on. Like
Yeah.
I would much rather, like, it's why I do like a 15-minute pre-show on like my non-podcast streams essentially, because it's like if people want to turn up, you know, I'm not going to force them to watch an ad. Like I could have been a scumbag during the charity stream and just done like 30 minutes of 60-second ads, but like what's the point, you know? Like
Right.
like at the end of the day it hurts. Like I think the best way I see people do it is they ask their audience to stay at the end of a stream, and then they do an ad roll at the end, because at the end of your stream is before you send people to raid is where you're going to have your biggest conflux of people. Like you turn a stream on at the beginning, you're not going to have your entire viewer base turn up, are you?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
That's
Yeah.
actually really good. Like,
It takes it does take a while for it to build up. So
like
I never thought of that.
I get taking a break because everybody needs to get up and stretch their legs, go for a loo break or whatever. You know, like I get maybe doing like an ad break then if you're just gonna go be right back and just be like shortly, but you know,
that's actually a good idea too. Yeah.
yeah.
you're not
Run
hurting
ad
yourself, but like you've got to be careful of not. I mean, I was gonna say not indoctrinating your audience, but you don't want to really push something away. Like there was a Blood Bowl streamer that I watched for a long time, and he has what is called fake ads, where people have just made ads about him
Yeah.
and his audience and everything else, and he just goes, "It's time for an ad break," and everybody that's new to his stream that come in, because he's obviously the biggest thing for Blood Bowl, are like, "Oh, I just got here, I don't want to watch ads," and they're like, "No, they're fake ads, don't worry."
That's awesome.
So it's just like a load of videos that his community have made and just
That's really
put on
yeah,
and everything
that's
else.
cool.
It's real cool. Like it's something I've looked at doing, because sometimes you got to have a spark of inspiration for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. sometimes,
Yeah.
and obviously have the audience that want to put their stuff in at the end of the day as well.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
it's real cool. I think we're at the end of the show. We've overrun a fair bit, but I thought we were having a fun time. So
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's great. Fuck it.
yeah. So Jen and Eric, for everybody who doesn't know who you are, where can they find you around the internet?
Pretty much anywhere at JenEricLive, like Jen, Eric, live. Twitter, YouTube. Actually, we have a YouTube channel
Yep.
where we post. We are mostly doing vlogs. Like, honestly, Fraz, you should go watch the vlog that we have on YouTube and see if you could see yourself in it, because we made a BlizzCon vlog. And we have some footage from the Wowhead thing too.
So Twitch, Twitter, Instagram,
YouTube.
TikTok, JenEricLive.
Yep. Pretty easy.
Brilliant stuff. Unfortunately, it's only got your Twitch and your YouTube. Sorry, your Twitch and your Twitter underneath it. But if it's the same thing everywhere, it's
Same thing
all
everywhere.
good.
Yep. Same thing everywhere.
Mr. Frazley, while you're furiously Googling something over there,
Yeah, I just subscribed to you on YouTube.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
for those people that don't know who you are, Mr. Frazley, where can they find you around the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at FrazleyTastic, where I retweet and stuff like that. And actually, there's less puns there than on my Facebook, so
Thank God.
I can deem it.
Thank God.
And then every week I talk with people around the Blizzard world and just like see who they are. You can find that at my podcast, Frazzlecast. And then see my weird shenanigans with like to meet my cat Chocolate, to see me eat beans and hot pepper beans and sour pickle balls. You can find that at gnome.live.
Nice.
Brilliant stuff. As always, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on my main account on Twitter at Titans Creed. If you just want the YouTube videos, the podcasts, the streams, at Gaming Phoenix. Otherwise, you can find podcasts like this, streams like this on twitch.tv/Project Phoenix Productions, or you can find VODs of the podcast and various other gaming shite that I do over at youtube.com/Project Phoenix Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been a show. I hope you've all enjoyed the new overlay. It's something we've pushed in a little bit early. As you can obviously tell, it was going to go live with Shadowlands, but with everything that's going on, we felt like a fresh coat of paint could be done. And it's brilliant to share it with some new guests who are new to the Twitch platform as well. So thank you very much for joining us, Jen and Eric.
No
Yes,
problem.
thank
It was a
you.
pleasure.
Hopefully we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you very much, Mr.
Yes.
Frazley. Stop furiously Googling.
Oh, sorry.
You're
I
live
just
on
found out
Twitch.
I just found out that Loch Ness was the one I was next to at BlizzCon, because Thursday was a blur, and I was trying to remember. I was next to a Mixer streamer, and I'm like, Loch Ness! Hey!
Oh yeah. There was they had like the meet and greets that you
Yes.
could sign up for.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And Loch Ness was amazing to meet in person. So like, now I'm like, okay, cause I kept like trying to remember who was I near, because I don't remember anything on Thursday. I wasn't drunk. I had no alcohol. I was just on sleep deprived because at that time it was like midnight my time. Oh,
Thank you. Right. Thank you very much for watching and listening, ladies and gentlemen, whether you caught us live or if you're on the VOD or the podcast. Yeah, we'll see you next week with some new guests or just on our random streams. You can find us everywhere across the internet. We're splattered all the way across it. But yes, thank you very much to myself. I'll thank myself. Thank you very much, Frazley. Thank you to our guests, Jen and Eric. And until next time, as Mr. Frazley always likes to say,
be awesome and make sure that you add your own enthusiasm to everything.